Hello, people. What is up? Yeah, welcome to my channel. Welcome to the African Garage. My name is EJ Solomon. Probably is gonna be the first time you see my face. Just so you guys know, my name is EJ, and I am Nigerian. And as you can see from the title, this is a story of how moving out of Nigeria actually changed my life. Now, I realize saying this thing doesn't mean Nigeria is the worst place in the world to live, but I can definitely say for myself personally, it's been the best decision I've ever made, right? I left Nigeria back in 2023 December. Oh, no. Actually, funny enough, this is 2026. Yeah, 2023 December. I left. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Hmm. Oh my god, it's been 3 years. It's been 3 years. It's been 3 years since I left Nigeria, right? And basically, it was on 2022 December, not 2023, right? Because I actually came to, I'm going to tell you, I'm in Rwanda. So yeah, I moved to Rwanda in 2022 December 6th, to be precise. It was my very first plane getting on an international airline. Actually, it was my first time getting on any airline at all. I'm not ashamed to say it. It was my very first time getting on an airline, period, on an airplane. And wow, the experience was really good though. I'm not gonna lie. It was very, very good. Like, being in the air for like 6 hours, that was cool. And it was a direct flight from Lagos to Kigali, which is the capital of Rwanda. And I was able to reunite with my family, which is my sister and my brother. So, uh, full disclosure, I have family here, and they were the ones who invited me over to come to Rwanda. Because I was out of school back in Nigeria. I was out of school. I think that 2022 was the year we had like a very long strike, right? ASU strike. As you know, Nigeria is very, when it comes to the education system, I mean, it's not the best. It's really not the best. And um, that year, like I've been out of school the entire year, and it wasn't really all that bad for me. I was actually working, right? I had a job. Well, I don't know if I'll call it a job. It was more like a side hustle, but it's actually a very legitimate side hustle because I made a whole lot of money. I was able to travel around the country. I was working with my boss in the solar industry, and it really gave me a lot of experience as well. Working in solar industry because I have a knack for electronics, electrical stuff. I like electronics, so things like microcontrollers. I don't know if you see that. Yeah, and PCBs. So I got in touch with a friend of mine. Yeah, family friend actually, who is currently now actually a family relative because he's married to my sister. None of your business. Anyways, he and I, we worked together for quite a while, and I think within only just 2022 alone, we were able to convert and like upgrade homes and businesses who were looking to transition from gasoline, that is like petrol generator, to solar power, because petrol is becoming more expensive, and some people were looking at it as a much more sustainable way of getting electricity to power their home. So I was engaged, I was very much engaged, and I was literally growing. So it was actually quite, how do you say? I was a bit afraid to actually make the move from Nigeria to Rwanda. Or when my sister called and she was like, "Yo, what's up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." Okay. So we're thinking you've been out of school for like a whole year, because the year before 2022 was 2021, which was the year after COVID-19, as you know. So 2021 was a very rough year. We didn't have classes throughout the entire year. I think we only had 2 semesters. So I mean, things were just kind of on and off. So the option of actually just leaving school and just focusing on work was very much in my mind because I was fed up at that point. And to top it up, I wasn't even studying the course that I wanted. As you know, Nigeria, they really mess things up for you. You're a guy, you're done with your secondary school, you want to go to university, and you say you want to study like medicine, for example. No, not because you want it means you're gonna get it. Just because you want it doesn't mean you're gonna get it. You understand? So it's kind of crazy because you apply for a certain course in university, but then you get something else. It's like I don't understand. I don't understand. Like how? So it was the same case with me. I applied for electrical engineering, then I got physics, right? Which isn't too bad. Okay, in my head I was like, yo, well, physics isn't too bad because Elon Musk studied physics, right? So maybe I like Elon Musk. I used to, anyways. That's a story for another day. So I was okay with physics, but then something crazy happened, right? They actually moved me from physics to geology, just like that. And why? They said, oh, because yeah, the grades. There's a course you need to do. There's something else. Blah blah blah. They just fabricate some crazy story and move me to geology without my consent, literally. Like, of course, they would say you have to allow. But me, I've been applying for university for a long while, like 3 years, and it hasn't been smooth. There's a whole story. Actually, you guys should subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be dishing out more stories as time goes on, so you guys really fully understand like the full scope of where I'm coming from and why I feel the need to actually record this. Actually, the reason I'm recording this video isn't for you, it's for me, because many times I forget the history of my life and where I'm coming from, and whenever I remember, it's like, yo, it's like a reenactment. I'm like, wow, okay, huh. And I've been in several interviews and talks with people, and it's always engaging when people ask me about myself and I'm starting to tell them, and then I start to remember past events and the different events that led up to where I am right now, which is, well, I'm in a very good spot, let's just put it that way. So, and it's only been 3 years, barely 3 years. Why do I keep saying 3 years? Let me see, 2023 to the end of 2023 is 1 year. 2024 to the end of 2024 is 1 more year. So it's 2 years and a few months, actually. I'm sorry, my mistake. Mathematics. It's been a while, guys. So anyways, where was I? So I was working in the solar industry. I had a job, good income, and growing, because as time kept moving forward, the demand for solar kept increasing. And as you know, probably right now, the solar industry in Nigeria is huge. Like we have this solar technology show that comes up every January. I think last month, I forgot the name of the show. I'll probably put it up as a picture so you guys can see. But yeah, I really liked it. It was something very much within what I love, because electronics, So, but it turns out there's also this university in Rwanda called ALU, and the story of how I got to hear about this university wasn't just from my sister just saying, oh yeah, come to Rwanda and study at ALU. No. It was actually all the way back in 2019 when my sister moved to Rwanda. And also back then I was done with my secondary school, so I was looking for admission to university. And I was just on the internet checking out YouTube, learning about Rwanda, because my sister moved there, right? And I started typing, what is Rwanda? I've never heard of Rwanda before. I never bothered. The only thing like somebody has told me one time was about the genocide, stuff like that, and that was all. That's all I knew. But the moment I typed what is Rwanda, whatever, yo, I was blown away. Like the amount of achievements, the stories, the history, and their president, Paul Kagame, as well. Pretty cool guy. How much the people love this guy because he's literally he's like the exemplary like he's an exemplary president for Africa. He's doing a great job for his country, and there's a lot of people who say things like, "Oh, Nigeria and Buhari at the time should go and learn a thing or two from Paul Kagame." And it made me really kind of wonder, like, huh, I didn't know there were such problems with like I didn't know there was a president somewhere that people were actually like proud of, and they adore this guy. Like he's literally like a god here. Okay, he's like a god. Like it's insane. Anyways, so you know how the YouTube algorithm works. You see one thing that leads to another thing. Anyways, that search for Rwanda and also learning about the Rwandan genocide history led me to another channel called New Africa. Excuse me. So New Africa is a channel actually owned by a Nigerian called KB Taiwo, and he uploads videos about like African history, countries, and all sorts of different events that happen in Africa, as well as geopolitical issues and economic issues. And he has such amazing content. One of them includes the Nigerian Civil War. You know, there was one that really caught my eye back then. How Nigeria sold. I don't know how Britain bought Nigeria for £865,000. But I mean, it's a crazy story. But it was very, very interesting. I got to learn a lot about Nigeria through that channel, and thankfully, that channel also had one other video that talked about the problems of Africa being leadership, right? So leadership, like, oh, we have this amazing continent with so many natural resources, but terrible leaders, right? People who are corrupt, politicians who only care about themselves, they're very greedy, and lack of patriotism. Like and I very much agree with him. And within the video, he was talking about this guy called Fred Swanika, who is on a mission to change the narrative of Africa by tackling the fundamental problem of Africa, which is leadership, right? And his name is Fred Swanika. Amazing guy, and he has this university called the African Leadership University, which is a university that has been built with the sole purpose of training the next generation of African leaders. Like, yo, that is crazy. Like, that sounds like a movie. Like, it sounds so good to be true. Like, I say again, like, there's no university in Africa that has such amazing backstory. Like, I don't think there's any, even in the world, I don't know if there's any university that has a vision. I think many universities are just like university, like, oh yeah, we have 50 courses and we have 5,000 students. And like, that's the problem we have, really. Like, there's no purpose. It's just like doing the same thing every other university does, which isn't what we need. We need people, we need quality education, we need drive, you know? So, I got to learn about ALU back in 2019, and I was really amazed. So I called my sister up then, texted actually, we chatted on WhatsApp. I asked her, hey, sis, do you know about this university called ALU? And she was like, oh no, she doesn't know anything about ALU. She just moved to Rwanda, she doesn't know anything. Maybe she should check around, but yeah, it just went away like that. So I was surprised on the year of 2022 when my brother was gonna be moving to Rwanda for a program called ALX, something like that. When he said ALX, it just like came back into my head. I was like, huh, that sounds like ALU. Do you know the founder of ALX? Is he a guy called Fred Swanika? That name, Fred Swanika, is so freaking cool. Like, it's so cool. It's like one of these Arnold Schwarzenegger. It just has a nice rhythm to it, and I never left my head. So how do you say? Yeah. So where was I? Right. So I asked him, like, is ALX founded by Fred Swaneker, Mr. Fred Swaneker? And he was like, yeah, he doesn't know. He's gonna check. Maybe check the website, check the portal, whatever. And he did. And he came back and he was like, yeah, it's a guy called Fred Swaneker. How did you know? I was like, yeah, he has a university even. So it turns out ALX is actually not a university. It's more of like a program where you gain skills. Like you have like online tutorials, online sessions, online classroom, those kind of things. So, long story short, he knew about ALU because because of Fred Swaneker, and that's how he was the one who actually persuaded my sister, like, hey yo, we should get we should get EJ to come to Rwanda to study. So I really, really do appreciate my brother for that. It was really something that has been transformative to me. If he had not put in the effort of assisting, there was a lot of processes. Man, moving abroad is difficult, so I'm not gonna lie. Especially when it's your first time. It's very difficult and very, very expensive. Yeah, it's expensive. It's very expensive. And I mean, this. Well, I'm not even talking about like the culture shock. Like it's, gosh, it's very, very. It's a lot. You have to be mentally prepared for it. It's not something you just decide like, yeah, I want to move abroad and you just move. Man, it's not that easy. Like we literally started the process of the documents, sourcing the documents, getting all my documents notarized. There's a thing called notary. You have to notarize a document before you can travel, so that and then also for your certificate, like your results and those kind of things, you need to get the equivalents in the country. So Nigeria, we have like WAEC and NECO. Here they have something else. You need to get the equivalent certificate so you can apply for the universities and their schools, which isn't something you always know. You think, oh yeah, I'll just move abroad. But as you start applying, you start to realize many process. And we didn't use an agent, which probably could have made things easier. But I don't advise anyone to use a travel agent for traveling to anywhere, because especially from Nigeria, because I've had terrible experiences. Same thing with my sister. Like it's better you do it yourself so that you can always do it yourself onward, not relying on somebody who's always going to be charging you 300k, 500k extra for the same service you could get for free if you use your brain, right? And it's good for you because you could even become an agent to somebody else. So it's a win-win. It might be difficult at first because it's your first time, but that's why you should put in the effort to actually learn it so that you can do it well and you can do it again without needing anybody's help. And it's very easy. There's so much information available online right now. You can literally do anything you put your mind to if you search for the information. So there's no gatekeeping. I keep saying this to everybody I meet. Like this 25 years into the 21st century, there's literally no gatekeeping of any information anymore. Everything is available on the internet thanks to the internet. So yeah, that's a short story. But then again, I don't think I've mentioned how exactly my life has changed by moving to Rwanda. That will be in another video. So please feel free, stay tuned for the next episode. If you found this video helpful, if you like it, please, I beg you, subscribe. I'm gonna be dishing out way more content as time proceeds. I'm still trying to get more comfortable with the camera, so as you can tell, I'm fidgeting, I'm looking left and right here and there. Forgive me if that disturbs you, but yeah, Murakoze, Dankeschön, goodbye.